The word that Isaiah, son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In days to come, the mountain of God's house shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised above the hills. All nations shall stream to it. Many people shall come and say, "Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his way, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth instruction and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between the nations and shall arbitrate for many peoples. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord." It's always hard for me to read those words without choking up a little bit. It takes us so long to learn, so long to understand what Isaiah has said to us. Let me say a few words about confirmation first. And that is that we're having a great time in confirmation. This year, in confirmation class, we've just finished 8 weeks of looking at the Old Testament. One of the most interesting things, I think, for the adults and for the youth was to look at what it meant to be a prophet. Prophets didn't go, oh, I want to be a prophet. Prophets are called by God. It's uncomfortable to be a prophet. Prophets tell the world what's happening now, what's happening in the then, not what's going to happen in the future. Prophecy is about what's happening right now. Prophets had to speak to the people and to the leaders of the people. That could be a scary moment for a prophet. Prophets often didn't make it out of the listening room of the king. And here we have Isaiah telling us that God's house will be up on a mountain. God's house will be where we need to be looking. God will give us the word. And even in this day, in the 21st century, we still hear these words and we still need to heed these words. Wouldn't it be important for us to hear the words of the Lord when God tells us that we should beat our swords into plowshares, our spears into pruning hooks, and never study war anymore? Wouldn't that be a glorious day? One of the most impressive things that I read whilst looking into what to say this morning was that here in St. Louis, at St. Louis University, there's a chapel. There's many chapels at St. Louis University, as it is a Jesuit school. But at one of the chapels, there are chandeliers, just like we have chandeliers. But the chandelier coverings are made out of bomb casings. Think about that. A weapon of war turned into the light of Christ. Could we do that? Can we change our hearts? Can we move towards being the light of Christ into the world? That's my hope for this Advent season. May it be so.